It's Wednesday morning, so what's new? My name is Colleen Magnus, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on the East Coast in Chesapeake, Virginia. Y'all know I come to you live every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time, and today is November 1st. It's so hard to believe, because once Halloween is done, it's all Christmas for everybody. I'm going to walk in the store and there'll be Christmas music playing probably. But it's a little chilly here in Virginia, which was kind of cool. In fact, yesterday morning it was in the high 50s, and I sat outside and I drank my coffee because I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and I do like my cold. Not that that's really cold, but it is in Virginia. And it was funny because then the temperature dropped even more, and it was like in the 40s this morning, and everybody's talking about how cold it is, how cold it is. And then I see pictures on Facebook from some of my demonstrator friends up north who have snow. So we can't complain. It's supposed to be up to 70 Saturday, and that is probably one of the best things that you could do is living in Virginia. You do get all 4 seasons all year long, sometimes all in one day, but life is good. So if I'm a little distracted today, y'all have to show me a little grace. My grandbabies are moving out. This all came about this last week. Tyler's family has been living with us for the past 2 years, a little over 2 years. And I tell you, there's nothing that does a grandparent's heart more joy than reading to them at night before they go to bed, or playing with them. Or the cool thing was with Tyler and Lindsay here, it was kind of like they watched them and we were amongst them. So it's not like we had to watch them the entire time. And of course you saw everything, the meltdowns, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but that's just part of life again. But now I am just suffering, a little sad, and suffering from FOMO, fear of missing out. What are they going to be doing? What are they, they actually are going to be moving in with their other grandmother. Tyler, Lindsay, and Mimi are renting a place together. And I know I will get to babysit. And I know just as Danny retiring, I have to figure out the new normal. Now we have to figure out the new normal to the new normal. So I have to go back to just being the grandparent. And that's cool though, because I do look forward to watching them and spending time with them. And I cannot complain. They're only 15 minutes away, where I know there are other grandparents who have their grandchildren out of state. So praise God for Zoom and for FaceTiming and all that good stuff. But at least I can still go see them. But if my mind's not all here today, I actually have a reason today. So now you know. So one of the things, I see a lot of chatter coming on. And what I will do, let me boot up here. I was actually just a minute or two late because I had forgot, all month long for the month of October, if you had placed any size order and used the host code I gave you, or if you placed an order that was 150 or more, your name was automatically entered to receive a pack of the adhesive backed trinkets. So I have 2 of these, and the reason they're so special right now is because sadly they have not been available, but they will be available on, let me check my thing here, the week of November 13th. So you still got about 2 weeks, but 2 lucky winners who placed orders on my creatingwithcolleen.com blog or creatingwithcolleen.stampinup.net website will receive these. And I told you I would draw the names online. So I put everybody's name in my little basket on just a ticket. I wrote your name on there. Lick my fingers. It's just me, so I don't have to worry about germs. So let me draw a name. And the first trinket packet goes to, my lucky gal, Lynn Williamson. So Lynn, congratulations. You get your name. Actually, and I'll see you. That's what's so cool is I will see you at our stamp club the 3rd Tuesday of this month. And the next winner is, let's see who I got here. It is Joanne Brady. So Joanne, congratulations. I want to thank you all for either placing that $150 order or more, or for using the host code. And you will get yours before everybody else. They are really great, beautiful little trinkets. So without further ado, today I'm going to touch base We're going to go on the Meandering Meadows Suite that is coming out. It is an online exclusive, so you're not going to see it in a catalog. It will only be online, and it will be available to customers November 7th. So that is right around the corner. And last week I showed you how to take the dies and just make a beautiful card, but then it has this really cool window in it. I'll show you how to make that window into a door. So if you haven't seen that, go to my Creating with Colleen YouTube channel and check that out. It's really worth it. It's a cool trick I taught them as far as using your dies and cutting with your dies. But today we're going to focus on a couple of specialty cards that feature the designer paper because it is absolutely gorgeous. So let me go ahead and turn you all around, turn you down and around. Oh, it didn't turn around. Hello. Here we go. Like that. Just like that. Let me pull this down a little bit. And let me just check in and see who is here today. I saw some chatter, but I really couldn't read it. Oh goodness, Renee's daughter is still in the hospital. I'm sure it is frustrating with complications. So you are on grandma duty, staying at the house. God bless you. We will pray for you and your daughter Renee and hope that she gets well and she gets home soon. And I know she is just blessed to have you there helping her. Hello, Bren. Judith, how are you? Let me see. Caters is here. Miss Kay, she could be camping. Gwen is here. So I love how you all support each other and you're encouraging Renee as I read these comments. So Renee had snow at her house last night. Oh, will not complain about those 50-degree temperatures. So Lisa's here. Hey, Lisa and Jane. Hello, Jane. And Jane, she actually purchased a starter kit. So she is a part of the Creative Inspirations now. And we've got a lot of fun that I'll be telling you about, Jane. A lot of good team support, and we share a lot of projects. So Mary, cold Indian, let me see, a little snow today. Yeah, so I'm not complaining, y'all. Benita, Felicia, I will not complain because I really love snow, and I want to see snow. Now, granted, I don't want to see it in October, but bring me some snow, you know, around Christmas time or January, and that would be awesome. So let me get going here because you did not come to hear me chit-chat. You came to watch me stamp. This, again, since I had to do a printout because it is not going to be in any catalog, is the online exclusive that would be released November 7th. Now, y'all know the fire drill. Stampin' Up! Products are hot, hot, hot. And if you decide you want this, I would love for you to order early on November 7th because if not, certain things can go, you know how that goes. They go unorderable. So right here, this is the November host code. If your order is under $150, please use a host code. And if it's more than that, then skip the code and get the benefits for yourself. Now, I showed y'all last week the suite, but I'll go real quickly. This is the Garden Meadow. It is a photopolymer set, really stinking cute. Then you have the dies. And for the dies, you have different sceneries, like you can make hillsides, you can do grass, mountains, bushes. Then you have when you look here, you have dies to fit the flowers, the watering can, pretty much when I'm looking at this, pretty much everything. You even have, but not everything, not like the words, but even here you have a gate that you could cut out and it's like a standalone gate or you can stamp it. But everybody loves garden boots, shovels, or little birds there, little quails, and of course a beautiful wheelbarrow full of flowers. And I think you could paint these, you can make this Christmas and make them poinsettias. You can do bright colors for summer, and I think you could even put some mums in there and with some fall colors. So that is all season. Now the designer paper is the show. You already know that. So just real quickly, I'll go through it again. But I found out this was not, what do you call it? Oil painting. A lot of times they have their artists who create these and then they go ahead and make the designer paper from it. If I'm not mistaken, these were chalks and it was done smaller and then blown up. But absolutely beautiful. And you can even just take one of these, cut it to the size of a card, put some words on there, and that's it. Very, very pretty. And two of the pieces I'm going to create with. Already getting through my first pack. So that's your paper, and then you have these little adhesive-backed dragonfly birds. So these are birds. Some fly to the right, the ones up here fly to the left. You have dragonflies. And sadly, these are not available. I don't know if the demonstrators bought them all or what, but they will be in November 27th. But you can go ahead and order everything else. Everything else is available, and those will be in soon. But especially if you like this designer paper, please do not wait. You don't want to wait. They are oil pastels. Oh, thank you, Felicia. That is very cool. Oil pastels. I don't know if I've ever heard of that. Yes, Mary, the paper is beautiful. So what I'm going to show you today, well, let me just real quickly. Last week, I showed you all this wonderful arched window and how to get the most out of your designer paper, because we actually cut this 3 by 3 so that you were going to get 2 out of each card. So I did it in 2 different colors right there. Lots of fun. Again, the paper does all the work for you. And then this is when I showed you how to make that window into a door. And then you look in there and it's out looking into the garden. And it's actually a card, so you can write on the inside. So if you had not seen that video, again, go to my Creating with Colleen Magnus YouTube channel. And I did want to say too, with these being non-orderable, please don't forget we have the brushed brass butterflies. These are just phenomenal. They come in 2 sizes. They're a little bit thicker, but still mail beautifully. No weight, no thickness to your card. And you can get these, I know these are in, and you can get these to hold you over till you can get those. So the first card I'm going to show you is just a typical gatefold card. So basically, you're going to use just a standard gatefold, and this is great for, again, for Scenic Designer Series paper. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 2 3/4, flipped it over, 2 3/4. Then you're going to need the, oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Y'all got to bear with me. Excuse me. Excuse me. I was going to try to hold that in, but I'm glad I didn't. I might have hurt myself. Whew, God bless me. So anyways, this is one of the other pieces of the Meandering Meadows 6 by 6 Designer Series paper. And I love how so many of these papers have a wandering path. And that's why the first gatefold card I'm going to show you is good for this, because it doesn't break up the path. I'm going to show you a second double gatefold card that had me thinking all morning, and I'll have to get your opinion on that, which way you like better. So we have this, and we are going to cut it down, and I'll show you that so you know how to do it. And then just a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of basic white. So simple. And again, just probably one of the easiest specialty folds there are. So I will take my gatefold, and when I put this together, when I score my lines, of course I scored it on my scoring board, my scoring tool, but I always kind of want to hold this together as tight as I can, and then come in here and crease it. And the reason I do that is because sometimes when you score, it can just be slightly off. And if you have a gap in the middle and you have a piece of white paper in the middle, you're going to see that little bit of that gap. Again, nothing that important, but just if you pull it in tight and then you crease your edges, you'll be okay. Oh, thank you for everybody who blessed me. You know, sometimes you just can't stop a sneeze, like a tickle in your throat, but actually that gets done a lot quicker. So on the paper, I'm going to go ahead and take my cutting tool here. And for the paper, I want to showcase this trail here. So what I'm going to do is I need to cut this 4 by 5 to go on the front, 4 by 5 inches. So I believe what I did, let me see here. I think the best way, because I don't need 4 by 5, 4 inches is going to cut off 2 inches. So I don't need so much of my little trail, but I don't want to take 2 inches here because all you see is a little path. So go ahead, since you're cutting this 4 inches, cut 1 inch off the top and 1 inch off the bottom. Now, when you're using your tool here, y'all have all seen me say it, but if you're new, I do want to share with you that this is clear. So to see your measurements, I took a piece of that tear and strip, which is great double-sided adhesive. But what you do is you put it on, and if you want to use it as a tape, you peel this piece of paper off, and then it's, you know, sticky. You can put whatever on there. Great for boxes, 3D projects, anything you want a really good hold with. But I just left the paper on there and put it where my measurements are so that it's easier for me to see my measurements on a white backing instead of clear. And also, there is a little magnet at the top of your cutter up here, and there's like a little finger ledge. Don't pull your cutter this way because sometimes it sticks. It's always easy and it glides like butter if you just pull it from the top, because that's where that little magnet is. Just little tips. I always want to try to teach y'all something. Hopefully I taught you something new. So for this, I'm going to cut an inch off the bottom because I'm going to 4 inches. So I'll put this at 5 inches here. The dark blade is your cutting blade. And then I can turn it around and go to 4 inches. So that's my height. Now, again, I want to kind of focus on the path. So with this being 6 inches across, I want to make it 5 inches. I'm going to take that extra inch off here. So I can turn it around, put the edge here on 5 inches, and then I can just cut that. So now I have the view that I want to go on the front of my gatefold card. So with this ends up being 2 3/4 on each side. So I'm just going, that you need this to be cut right in the middle. So I'm going to cut it in half. This is 5 inches. I'm going to cut it in half at 2.5 inches because each one of those sides needs a 2.5 inch piece. So I just line it up. Always make sure too, you have your designer paper up against this little tray, because if you're like this and there's a gap, you're going to cut crooked. And you don't want that. So that is how I got the 2 pieces. Now, sometimes when I've done gatefold cards, I would have added like a 1/4 inch to it. And I actually have them to where the gap is on the side, and then you can open it this way. Sometimes you can actually put them on the edges. Again, I would have just made that a 1/4 inch bigger. And I thought that's what I wanted this morning, but I didn't. I want them to be total symmetrical in there. So here I will just take my liquid glue. Someone came in downstairs. I don't know who it is. Could be Danny. So I'm just going to put this here. And then for this side, you know, gatefolds are just so easy. And sometimes with this paper, I'm not going to lie to you, it's almost hard to put a word on here. You're like, oh, I don't know any part of that paper I want to cover up. It's so pretty. Oops. Okay. So very simple. That is your gatefold. You have your path. It's not interrupted. So you have that. And then for your inside, we could just take something like this. And again, 5 1/4 by 4 inch basic white. Let's go ahead. And I love this little basket of flowers down here on the bottom. So cute. And I'm going to color that with my blends. Let me grab my blends. Just slide a piece of paper under here in case it does bleed. So with the blends, I'm just going to come in with my, I always start with my light. And this is a light old olive. I love that we have a fine tip and we also have a broad tip to color these. I could put a little space in there. Okay. And then I can just come in with a little bit of the dark. Just so I have some light and dark. Does not have to take a whole bunch of time. Now I have the Highland Heather blends also. And hopefully y'all know when you're using your blends, you want to use it with the Memento ink. It was made for alcohol markers, which is what these are, and it will not smear. Gives you a good crisp image. Now, if you were going to watercolor, you would want to use the black stays on. But believe it or not, even though black stays on is permanent, it doesn't work that well with the blends because sometimes it can smear. So use your Memento ink. And also keep in mind, being an alcohol marker, you want to keep these closed whenever they are not in use. Every time, put that top on and take that top off, because being alcohol, it's going to evaporate, not like a water-based marker. And you don't want these to dry up. It would be very sad. Okay, quick and easy. So see how it bleeds through? It probably wouldn't have gotten on there, but it could. You never know. So I will take this, put it in the middle, and then I can put whatever sentiment I want on. But see how that's nice and tight so you don't see that white in between? And I could put anything. I have beautiful sentiments in this, and I'll finish this later since I mainly just wanted to show you the basic gatefold. So now what we have, this is a double gatefold right here. And this is the color that I'm going to be creating over, because when I was making this morning, I didn't cut a single thing on this card straight, and it was driving me crazy. So this way I am going to recreate it so I have a sample that is straight. So let me check my thing. What was crumb cake for the basket? It was crumb cake for the basket, Debbie, the light and the dark. I'm assuming that's it's Stampin' Up! Wilson. I'm assuming that's you, Deb. One of my dearest stamping friends. And actually, Debbie was my second team member 22 years ago. So she's been in and out a little bit, but she is with me now, and I love having her around. So this here is a double gatefold. It has a belly band. I'll show you how to make that. So when you open it, it opens like this, and you have your scenery. So I'm going to show you how to cut these, but this was my dilemma today. This is where, again, I'm distracted, a little sad and distracted without those grandbabies, but I could have just spent all day on this. With your designer paper, like this, see how it all comes across? So when I cut my paper, it's all the entire image. But when I close it, it doesn't match. So I will need to know from all of you at the end of this, because I'm going to show you both ways. Is it more important for it to match on the front, match all the way across, or does it really just not matter? And that's because I'll show you. So I am going to do this one where it matches throughout. But see, this was one that I did in the blue. And see how it matches on the front? So those two ends match. But then when you open it, it doesn't. But does it really matter? That's what I'm going to need to know from you. The question doesn't matter. Let me see. Oh, great. Terry has this bundle in her cart to order, along with the Celebrate the Miracle set. Good deal, Terry. Good deal. Because I tell you what, both are great. And see, as a demonstrator, we get to pre-order it. So that's what we've done. Is those of us who have it now, we get to pre-order it, and those who are not with Stampin' Up! Or part of my team, you get to order it on the 7th. So for this card, to create this card, what you are going to need, get yourself a sheet of the Fresh Freesia 8.5 by 11 paper, and I'm going to cut this and score it in front of you. And then I'll leave this here so you can take a screenshot. Your 6x6 Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper. And this is what I'm going to cut the strips into. And then my go-to Stylish Shapes dies. They are great. They have squares, banners. Look, they're always jumbled. I never even bother trying to get them in there straight because I'm always pulling them out. And circles. And they are stitched. So I have the small one right here in basic white, and then Fresh Freesia. Okay, screenshot. So as I said when I was cutting this, well, let me do my base first. Let's get this out of the way. So for a double gatefold, you are going to want to cut it to be 10 by 5.5. So when you cut your 10, let me pull my sidearm out. when you cut your 10, you want to cut it this way because this 1-inch piece is what you're going to use for your belly band. So I just put this down to 10 inches. Hold it up there. Cut that. And don't throw this piece away. You'll need this piece. So here I have my 10, and then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut it at 5.5. Like that. So that's my 10 by 5.5. So now I want to score it. And I guess I could score it with this. Let me show you if you don't have it. I would score it and just move it down. But this is my scoring tool here, my scoreboard. That I do love. And I love it because I can just and go straight across. So when I have this, I am going to score it at 2 inches and 3.5 inches. And then I'm just going to flip it around and do the same. 2 by 3.5. So I could have given you, if you want actual measurements, I could have done that too. It would have been 2 by 3.5 by, let me get that there, 6.5 by 8. But if not, just go in 2, 3.5, flip, do it again. So for this one, I'm just going to kind of bend it in a little bit, bend it out a little bit, in a little bit, out a little bit, so that when I put this together, like this, again, I want to pull that in tight, make sure everything kind of matches up there. And then that's when I give a good crease. So, hey Joanne, glad you're here. You actually won a pack of the Star Trinkets by placing your order this month. So I will be dropping that in the mail to you tomorrow. So, oh, yeah, you got it, Brent. Brent said, knowing you, you have to get it to match. I do. I wish I wasn't that particular. That's a nicer word. And I'm never that particular about everybody else's work. I think it's great, but I don't know if it's my drafter eye or what. I really do want things just right. For a long time, I kind of debated, and I wasn't doing videos because, oh my gosh, it was like, I wanted it to be perfect. And then I just had to realize there is no such thing as perfect. So you just got to roll with it. So now let me show you how I cut the designer paper. So the designer paper, I want it to be 5¼ inches high because that's how high it's going to be. And then this one I'm going to cut consecutively so you could see it all the way across. 1 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4. And that's what it'll be. 1 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4. So let me get this out of the way. That's not going to cut anything. And then here, since I want it 5 1/4 high and I have a lot of flowers down here, I can just take that little bit off the bottom. So that 3/4 inch I'm taking off the bottom. And then to cut this, I am going to cut it 1 3/4. Line it up there. Okay. Set that aside. Then I'm going to go 1 1/4. Right there. And I'm going to try to get them straight this time. I did not do a good job this morning. Then 1 1/4 again. Like that. And that's going to leave me 1 3/4. Amen, Lisa. Amen to that. Perfection is in heaven. I always say that. There's nothing perfect on this side of heaven. So, but you know what? Some people get close. I don't. And I just have to be okay with that. What do they say? Done is better than perfect. And that is true. Because if I'm waiting to get it perfect, whoo, that's not happening. So here I'm just going to slide each one of these on. So I've got one. See how that would have matched up? I'll put this here. Right here. And really you just want to just get them in the center there. And then this on this side. And then your last one. So this is when you cut it consecutively. That's a big word. But this way, when you open your card, and this is kind of what I was thinking at first too. When you open your card, you're going to see the whole image going all the way across. So I thought, well, that might be better. Let me take this off here. Forgot to cut the basic white. So thankfully, I just kind of tacked it on the first card that was so crooked. And I always have a ruler close by. So for the center, you want to cut this 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to go ahead and put that on here, because it will not bleed through the back when I color it with the blends. So that's pretty much your card there. And it actually has right here another flower that I love from the set. And I can put that there. And I'll color that later. I can add some different words. But this is how it is. So this one here again, this one I cut the paper 1 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4. This one, so that it matched in the front. This one, I cut it 1 3/4 and then 1 3/4 again. So that those are the two that come together if you want your front to match. And then I just took that, what was left, you know, and cut it at 1 1/4, and that gave me the 2 side pieces. So y'all got to let me know, which way do you like it? The front to match like this, or do you like the inside to match like that? They're the same piece of paper actually, and you got that. So I want to hear from you, but let me finish this. So to make a belly band, I just took that 8 1/2 by 1 inch piece that I cut off in the beginning, and I put it here on the back. I'm not taping it down, but I'm just kind of folding it over like so. Give a little bit of a pinch. And I actually found you can use tear and tape, but you know, the Stampin' Seal is so strong. Just make sure when you do it that these line up here, and make sure before you really press it down good that it slides pretty well. Now this was a card that was shared on a World Card Making Day video that Stampin' Up put on, and actually it was really great. It was Sarah and her daughter. Shelly and Sarah have always stamped and Stampin' Up. I've been in 22 years, and I love to watch the two of them create. And so now it's really cool to see Sarah and her daughter carrying on the tradition. So I already cut this out. This is your little hello. I'm just going to kind of put that right in the middle. It's photopolymer, so should be able to make that happen. And then I'll just put that on here. Like so. Now this here, this is the pecan, so pretty, pecan stitched ribbon that comes in this suite. It's called Pecan Pie, it's a color. And what I'm going to do for my belly band, and actually, you know what else I'll do too? Since I am going to cover this, it depends on how you do your belly band. Since I'm going to cover this like this, I'm going to take the seam and flip it on the front, because I'm going to hide that. So let me put it on the front. You won't see anything. It'll be nice and smooth on the back. That'll be on the front. And I also want to take a piece of the ribbon and come around. And that doesn't even have to totally meet on the front, because it's going to be hidden by my circle. So I just like to put a little bit of, I'll put this here, adhesive in the middle and on the ends. And it's going to hold it well. So I can just kind of come here, wrap it around. You want to look at that, make sure you're in the center of your band. Come around again. And I have that. And then for this piece, I'm just going to go this way. Take my two dimensionals and put this on the front. So when I do, everything is pretty going around, and that slides off, and that's your center. So I have this, and let me see what you have all decided. Hard to decide. Renee likes both of them. Jane likes the inside to match. I'm with you, Joanne. I went back and forth. I had to make them both so I could actually see it. So she can't decide, and neither can Gwen. But here, what I did with the ribbon, I actually just tied a bow. So I did leave the seam in the back so that it would be pretty on the front. And I didn't even put the words on there. So that is a double gatefold card, like that. And then, of course, you have your standard. So I hope you all enjoyed the cards today. I think I figured out the noise downstairs is Tyler and Lindsay getting up more stuff. They are actually going away for the weekend, which makes it hard to move. But anyways, they're going to get as much done before they go, and then next week. So I'm sure I should have the kids some next week. But this is the Meandering Meadow Suite, available November 7th. And there will also be a lot of other products on our online exclusive. And you can see the online exclusives when you go to my creatingwithcolleen.stampinup.net store. Or if you go to creatingwithcolleen.com and just click Shop Now, you can find that section also. And there will be other products there. Stampin' Up! Is going to be introducing more and more products in their online exclusive. They can introduce more products that way instead of locking them into a catalog, and then you're with that for 4 months or a year, you know, and it also takes that much time to get the catalogs printed. So this will keep us on the up and coming, and there will be products on there that even we as demonstrators have not seen yet. So I'm excited to see it. Stampin' Up! Has the best products around, and they appreciate your business, and so do I. So if there's anything I could do for you, please let me know. I'm always here to help. You are all a blessing to me. And I enjoy you watching my videos and seeing you pop up. And I just hope you will do something creative today and every day. So I will see you next week on Wednesday. And not sure what we'll be creating with, but I promise you it'll be fun. So thanks again for your support. And if there's anything I could ever do for you, let me know. But until then, my friends, enjoy the day. Bye-bye.